grab some right after, everybody.
Murphy's Law, man.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, we're going to get the speech ceremony started here. Please welcome Mr. Randy Taylor to the stage.
All right, Randy. Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and germs, right? So I'm Randy Taylor, and I got
Who's your Taylor?
the privilege of introducing our leader. And I'm going to keep my story short because I think most of you didn't come here to hear us talk. You came here to network and make friends and take your business further forward. So that's what I'm going to do. But I did want to let you know the reason I'm here is, I mean, I'm actually with, quote, a competitive meeting group. But Elias did networking the correct way when I met him for the first time, and as a result, we're still friends. The story goes simply like this. Most of you have heard it, but I like to share it. I met him when he was helping launch events because he's so enthusiastic, and he brought his own crew with him, so he had his disc jockey and music. He put a lot of liveliness into our meetings of another group that was branching out all over Sacramento. And we went as far as San Mateo, things like that.
San
Mateo.
Foster City.
And well, what happened is I had a big event, and Wade was there, and Bill was there, and that was like, I don't know how many years ago, 3.5 years ago. And the business card I gave out today to her has a photo that Elias took that day. And in addition, I had a problem with stage fright. I used to be a national speaker, and I was really comfortable and really good at it. And I hadn't spoken for like 4 years because I took a job where they allowed me to speak. Okay? So what happened was we had this big charity event, and it was amazing. And those guys were there. Elias was there, and he videotaped it. I didn't even know that. And what happened was I was relying on a guy that was a professional videographer that had a lot of high-end equipment. And he was there for his own purposes. Elias was there to help people. What he did was he put the microphone on a comedian that we had that was coming out from Los Angeles to help out this little girl with a coma, raise money. What the result was, I talked off and on for like 30, 45 minutes. Not one word was recorded. And it was the day I overcame stage fright. And it was just an awesome day for me. And from that point forward, now I can go on television and talk, and I don't get nervous. Okay, but Elias was there, recorded the whole darn thing. I could get it on YouTube anytime I want. I could take things off it. I could actually make money off of that video by taking a clip here and there and using it to promote myself as a speaker. So if you pay it forward, people remember you, and that's the difference. Everybody talks about paying it forward, but not everybody does it. And I'm going to be blunt and say that. How many people in here, don't raise your hand, that was embarrassing. How many people have given out at least 2 or 3 referrals in the last week? How about in the last year, January 1st till now? How many people have you connected with someone that actually taught them a lesson, something to improve their business? How many free services have you given out where you sat down with someone in a one-on-one interview where you've actually taught someone something about social media, maybe help them do a cover photo if you had a skill in that area, help them with sales if you have a background in sales, help them basically get better at what they're doing. That's what we should be doing every day. Seriously, the way I do it is I believe nothing but chance, because I heard a speaker once that coined that phrase. I've been using it ever since. So I use a forum. When I sit down with people on one-on-ones, which I think is the most important part of this whole process, this is great. We shake hands, we meet people, they know you're friendly, but a week later, you'll forget what people do for a living. Probably most of us, even if we've been in meetings for a year with someone, cannot say what everyone does for a living. But when you sit down with them for an hour, actually find out about their business and themselves and how you can help them, and you actually help them on the spot, all of a sudden good things happen for everyone. So I just want to go into it later, but basically what I'm saying is the one-on-ones, you should be targeting probably 5 one-on-ones a week, and if you do, you'll surprise yourself with how much business you'll have after a year or 2. And frankly, like they say in multi-level marketing, 2 years is going to go by, 5 years is going to go by anyway. Why not develop some really good relationships by helping people? And it's as silly as it sounds, like in the acting industry, they say, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. It's almost 4 years ago, I remember what it did. I'm still indebted to him. So I come down here, and if I have to drive to Stockton, I don't know anybody down here, I'll do it. And I do it every year when he has his Tracy Christmas party and all that. So anyway, that's the bottom line. We have to pay it forward like we hear about it, and if anyone has wants help with that, talk to one of the leaders that's been around for a while. That call me. I'm always available by phone, and I'll tell you the questions that I ask in my interview, so that I get enough information and I can write someone a LinkedIn interview after only going 20 minutes. Things like that. Okay. So then we get back to Elias. So
Good point.
with Elias, well, then we said I could do that. So I talked about one-on-ones, probably 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Sure. Anyway, I'm done. I respect Elias because he is, I'll put his money where his mouth is. He's driving from the San Mateo area up here, thinks nothing of it. Most of us take that for granted. But he drives to Sacramento, drives to Tracy, drives to Stockton, so that he can have make a personal effect on the groups and oversee them and make sure it works properly. He's also done something that most people probably don't notice, but I've seen this happen in these networking groups, and I think it's wonderful, and that is, you take people who've never spoken in front of a group before, and you give them some responsibility, and they'll rise to the challenge. And the people that are nervous in the first meeting, maybe the second meeting after that, are totally comfortable, and they develop a skill that helps them for the rest of their life. And he does that. He appoints leaders that have never led before. So what does that mean? He creates leaders. We all need that, right? So I'm grateful for that. I found that he's always been available to take my call. I had a computer problem, a nightmare with Facebook, and we worked out what we could on the phone, and we shared some links and some sites that both of us could use. And as a result, I'm learning from him because 2 brains are better than 1. So, Elias, get up here, and everybody stand up for a second if you can. Let's just give him a hand for all these.
How about we give Randy Taylor a big round of applause? Give Randy a big round of applause! Now, hang on a second, Randy. Don't go anywhere. Because you mentioned a few things that I feel are the most important aspects of the network. And number 1 is the one-on-one meeting. The magic happens at the one-on-one. Who would agree with that? Yes. Magic happens at the one-on-one. And beyond that, the fortune is where?
In the follow-up.
Oh, this was the answer. You already know the answer.
I had to because I love that.
The fortune is in the follow-up. That's the most difficult thing to do because we're all so busy with our own personal lives that we don't have time to truly run our business and move our business forward. You need to meet people in person, shake their hands, and ask them, what can I do to help you move your business forward? And when you do that, what happens? You create an amazing synergy, right? Bill Muth and Wade Brooks, you love that word synergy, right? That's the name of your company. That's what I love about it, right? So we're a real plug there, right? We've known you for a long time. We know you're good people. So, and the fortune is in the follow-up. Keep in touch with these people. Even if you haven't done business with them after 3 or 4 years, they have a referral base. This guy has a huge referral base. But I do too, so it works equally, right? But if I offended Randy Taylor, what do you think would happen? I get a bad reputation, not only throughout my network, but his network, and now we're just ruining things. So, keep a good relationship with everyone that you meet, because you never know what's going to come out of it. Now, through the power of networking, one more thing with you, Randy, before we allow you to sit down and rest. Can you share with us briefly here in a minute or so, what has the power of networking done for you? Because it's created some amazing things that I've seen.
Okay, first I'll give the corny answer, and that is I've made some lifetime friendships. There are people, I've worked in several networks, not just networking groups, GNA, but several networking groups, several networks. So the bottom line is, I have 2nd and 3rd and 4th generation, I refer you to Freedom, he refers you to her, and then she refers you to someone else that you had no idea you'd ever meet, and they change your life, right? You really can have life-changing experiences. So the bottom line is I started out to help my financial and insurance business, and that was actually pretty slow because the thing people don't realize in networking is you've got to develop trust. And the only way you develop trust, it's not by asking them about their business, hit it off, and have a good feeling. The trust comes from when you actually take action and you prove it to them. You help them with something, okay? So after you do that for a long time, then what happened to me was I met some people that took me to other groups unrelated to, I guess what we call this, a regular financial network.
Business network.
Yeah. Other groups, film groups, etc. And as a result, let's see, last week I was on, about 3 weeks ago I was on a national TV show, so that probably about 1 million people saw that. It's pretty hard to get a million people to watch you on Facebook, So that was something I didn't pay for. It was like free advertising. Then I had, 2 weeks later, someone else from my own networking group that I've known, the first person I ever met networking, like 6 years ago. She put me on an interview show. I got a half-hour interview on local television. Okay, and the end result is the bottom line is I'm going to be traveling to the Philippines, Utah, Arizona, and Nevada next year as an actor, and I never acted before I started networking in my life. And it was all from contacts and recommendations, and it happens, but it doesn't happen until you put in the hours, you know. So I'm totally grateful because I'm older than most of you guys, and for me to have fun, new, exciting things to do at this point in my life, besides making money, that's value I just can't put a dollar value on it. But I had a lot of fun last year, and then this year I'll have some new fun things to do, and I'll meet more people. So I'm grateful to be here, but it's not because I was special, it's because networking was available and I took advantage of it. And I'd like to make one comment if I could. There's a phrase I have is that there's nothing wrong with any networking groups. Networking is what you get out of it. You get out of it what you put into it. So you have to be patient. It's better to work one group and get to know everybody really well than it is to shotgun and try and make a sale next month by going to 3 groups. So I would look at your time schedule really carefully, pick some groups that you can attend, and just work them and work them and work them and help the people so that you'll get a reputation that will come back to you.
All right, how about another big round of applause for Randy Taylor? All right. It's my turn now, huh? So Randy's been known to be the MC for many events, which is why I usually will have Randy introduces myself, and I greatly appreciate that. So thank you once again for willing to do that, Randy. You do a phenomenal job. How's everyone doing tonight?
Very good.
I have a little bit of a cold, so my energy is a little down, but I'm still going to try to push right through it. But I'm going to look in the back of the room there and ask Wade Brooks, who's trying to enjoy his wonderful meal back there. Was that loud enough for the entire city of Stockton to hear us?
Oh, not well, not well.
So let's try that once again with everything we've got. How are you all doing tonight? Woo! Well, I'd like to personally welcome each and every one of you to the 4-year anniversary of the GNA here at Stockton GNA. Normally this is where we run our Stockton GNA monthly mastermind chapter every second Tuesday of the month from 6 to 8. So this event here is in lieu of that event. It's going to be a totally informal event, and once this speech ceremony is done, until about 8 o'clock or shortly afterwards, we're going to have more informal networking. But I wanted to share with you folks, because normally we've run this event in the Bay Area in the past, and we've run it in Modesto, so it's fairly new to all of you here. How many of you here have heard the story of how the GNA was started? Wow. So-so? Maybe like one so-so?
I heard a little bit of it.
This is a good crowd to hear something new, huh? You haven't really heard it. Maybe a little bit. Jim, we're on the phone for like hours each week, like until the wee hours in the morning. You haven't heard the story yet?
Not entirely.
You're just playing nice, right? So I'm gonna share with you folks the story of how the GNA was started as briefly as possible, because each and every one of you has a vision, right? How many of you here have a vision of what you want to create, not just for yourself, but for the people primarily, right? If you have a vision, raise your hand. And if everyone doesn't raise their hand and you don't have a vision, I have to ask, why are you an entrepreneur? What's your name again? John. Great pleasure to meet you. I love that. I love it when people laugh. So I'm here to share with you folks, where this vision, this crazy vision I came up with 4 years ago came from. So, and I'm not trying to pitch my business, but I am an entrepreneur myself. I'm an insurance agent / broker, property and casualty. And I got my license over 7 years ago, and I decided to start networking. And I joined, the Chamber of Commerce in the South Bay area, because I'm from the Bay Area. I visited a bunch of other groups, and I built a pretty big, strong network down there. Got a lot of people. But as I was going to these events, I was learning a lot of things about these events that I liked, and there were a lot of things that I didn't like. How many of you have been to events where you've seen things that you like, but there were several things that you didn't like, right? Raise your hand. Let's be real. Yeah. Everybody should be raising their hand, because no one's perfect, right? They're trying to do something right. And so, I was always cordial. I'm never the type of person that's going to publicly blast somebody or criticize a group. But I've learned from growing up and being raised by two wonderful Greek parents, giving them props, that if you don't like the way someone else is doing it, then you go and you create it yourself, right? Rather than complain, go and create it yourself. So what ended up happening, this was about 5 years ago or so, I said, I'm going to start a leasing referral group in the South Bay area. It was called Trusted Business Associates, or TBA for short. I like to create names for groups that have meaning, that show, trust and genuine, right? What's better than trusting somebody and being genuine when you do business, right? Who agrees with that, right? So we ran the TBA group for about a year or so, and we grew to 35 people, and this group was industry specific. So, those of you that run a totally informal mixer that opens it up to every single person, that it's not industry specific, know how hard it is to get 35 people to come to an event. We had a group of 35 people that were industry specific. The way we grew that is I went out there, and the other leaders went out there, and we grabbed people by the hand, right? And they said, "Hi, my name's Elias Nellis. Let's have a one-on-one, coffee on me. I'd love to know who you are. And hey, by the way, I'm running this free leasing referrals group. I'd love for you to be a guest and check it out, so we can refer business back and forth." And that's how we grew it, one step at a time. So after that point in time, I realized that we exhausted our resources, and we wanted to run some events that were open to everybody. So we started this informal mixer in Milpitas in the South Bay area called Interactive Fridays at Beverly Heritage Hotel. That event is still a part of the GNA today. And it was really funny. Here's where the story gets fun. We were running that event for 6 months. We were getting great turnouts, and I had a girlfriend at the time. And I was there with the right-hand person of the GNA back then. His name is Eric Richardson. Some of you may remember him from that time, right? Everybody's laughing, right? And we're just sitting there having a couple of cocktails, and we were having fireside chats with all the people. And I went to my girlfriend and my friend Eric, and I said, "I'm thinking about starting my own networking organization." And I said, "Hey babe, what do you think about the name Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short?" And she goes, "I think that name is stupid. You can come up with something better than that." I sat there and I'm like, "Oh wow!" And then I said, "Okay, whatever. It's all right. I'm all for this women's empowerment thing. I love her. I cared about her. No worries." But then I went and asked my friend. I said, "What do you think about it? Because you're helping me run these events right now. What if you just brand it, and that way, wherever we run events, people are going to know that we run them the same way?" He goes, "Well, I kind of agree with Ashley. You can come up with something better than that." And I was like, "Wow, okay." So I'm sitting here, there's 40, 50 people this event. I'm sitting there, and I'm a guy, but I have emotions and feelings too, right? Hey, ladies, guys have emotions too, right? Yeah. Who's with me on that, right? Yeah. Is it okay for a man to cry? Because I felt like crying at that point, right? But I sucked it up, right, Andy? I sucked it up, and I went home that night. The next morning I woke up, and I thought about what my girlfriend at that time said, and what Eric said. I said, "You know what? I'm not going to let anybody get in the way of something that I believe in, that I'm passionate about." And the moral of the story, I'll finish up here in a second, is if you have a passion, a vision, a dream, you need to go out there and do whatever it takes to get it out there, and don't let anyone get in your way, even a significant other. If somebody truly cares about you and loves you, they're going to understand who you are. And if they don't understand who you are, then it might not be the right fit. Now, my ex, she's my ex now, unrelated. No, we didn't split up like that. Sometimes things just don't work out. But anyway, so what I did that morning was I went online and I was looking to find a logo program, because I wanted to create the GNA logo today, which is known as the Slor. So I created the logo. I ended up, rebranding all the events we were running, and the rest is history. So folks, the moral of the story is that, don't let anyone get in the way of your passion and your visions and your dreams. I'm sure you've heard this a time or two before from many people, but this is a true story. And most of you that know who I am know what I've personally been through to try to, get people together in true ways from the heart. So the GNA was founded the next month, Friday, February 11th, 2011. And we're really 50 people there, and the rest is history for that point. So I want to just give each and every one of you a big round of applause for being supportive and being here tonight. Have a big round of applause for all of you. Okay, so, well, I'm a nice guy out back, but you know, sometimes things just don't work out. That's right, that's right. So, but anyway, we got just about another 5 or 10 minutes left. What I'd like to do at this time is invite all of the GNA leaders up to the front of the stage here. You're a GNA leader. There's one leader that cannot be on camera, and we will actually talk with her through audio. So all GNA leaders, come to the stage. Come on, Grant, Samantha, Shannon, Kelly, Wade, Bill. Got Slor. Let me see how much time I have in this video here.
All right. It's anniversary time. You ever hear of Saudi duty time?
All right. So let me make sure we're all in the picture here. Oh yeah, we're all in. We're all in. All right, so I'm going to introduce you to all the leaders here. They're going to have about 30 seconds to 45 seconds to say what they got to say, right? We're not trying to rush you, but I'm sure if we all spoke for 5 minutes, we'll be here till tomorrow, right? Well, whatever you like to say. This is a speech ceremony for the GNA, right? You're proud to be a part of the GNA, right, Bill?
Yeah!
So first of all, I'd like to introduce you all to our Central Valley area GNA Regional Director, Slor. You know Doc?
I have to go first.
Because you're so special, but you're the first person in line.
Because we didn't locate it.
Oh, she's coming here. Okay.
Okay, so thanks for having me. Elias wrestled me into this position a few months ago. Well, maybe not.
He made you an offer.
He made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So anyway, I love GNA. I'm embarrassed to say this. Like, Elias puts his heart and soul into everything. He had me come on board. I'm very proud to be part of GNA. I love the GNA. But I'm embarrassed to say that I came on board and then I promptly did nothing for 2 months. So I'm sorry about that. But I love the GNA. I show up whenever I can. I live way out in the middle of nowhere in Sonora, near Yosemite. I've met so many people, and I made a lot of money. I really have. But it's not just about that. Obviously, it's about the friendships and the relationships, and I really cherish that. I cherish all the relationships I've had. And I just know that when I go to a GNA meeting, even there's people I don't know, there's going to be great people there. And I always meet great people. It's never the stuffy kind of, when you said other networking things in your life. I cannot stand stuffy networking events. I've never been to a stuffy GNA, not once. So I love the GNA. I love the leaders. I love the heart and soul that Elias put into it, and all the other leaders. All of us put ourselves out there, and I really appreciate that.
Big round of applause for Scott. Grateful Slor. Got is spelled with a G-A-T. It's not GAT, it's got. So it's G-A-T. Grateful Slor. Connect on Facebook. Okay, move right along here. This next person, I've known for over 3 years. He's a phenomenal speaker, big pay it forward type of guy, nice genuine guy. He's now our current chairperson of our Sacramento GNA Monthly Mastermind chapter. Please welcome Mr. Bill Muth!
Welcome everybody to GNA. We're moving right along to Sacramento. It's one of the largest groups, I think.
Yep.
I just keep saying. So we have a lot of great people there. I'd like to invite you guys out to enjoy what we have going on in Sacramento Thursday.
We have Janice Jordan and Michael Rowe this week, 2 phenomenal speakers, right?
We got phenomenal speakers.
Yeah.
It's I know most of you know Janice Jordan. She's supposed to be the networking queen. She gives you the queen's wave and all that stuff. So come on out. We have a great time. Thanks, Elias.
You're welcome. Big round of applause for Bill Muth! let's bring Bill Muth's other half here.
He's not my other half.
Better half.
Better half. Other half.
Better half.
Well,
We're synergy together, so we're completely different. But when you put us together, we make more than the two of us.
you're like 2 peas in a pod, Bill.
No, we're like 2 peas out of the pot.
Oh, okay.
We're all free here.
But anyway, real quick here, I've known Wade about the same amount of time as I've known Bill, over 3 years, and this guy has a huge heart, big paying forward guy, supports so many groups. This guy does pretty much as much driving as I've done, and I'm indebted to him. So please welcome him, our co-chairperson of the Sacramento GNA Multi-Mastermind, Mr. James Wade. Look, call him Wade. Do not call him James, call him Wade.
My friends have always called me Wade.
Wade,
So please.
it's all yours.
Yeah, I appreciate
Wade.
okay, enough of names. We all have different personalities. Sometimes we go by a middle name or a last name or other drugs or whatever it is. We got all these names. The bottom line is you got that heart. That's what I'm here for. I see people's heart in the Genuine Networking Association as being those that are going to pay it forward, help you out. I'm not just saying that. It almost sounds like it's a political type of a push, but it really is genuine. And that's what I'm after, the heart that's in each one of you. And I believe you all are leaders. When I actually heard you say the leaders stand up and sit up front, I thought the whole group was going to stand up here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm actually very impressed. I know you guys are young into the networking scene, but like he said, this is probably the most phenomenal place to do business because it's like the family. I want to keep the money in the family. I'm done going overseas and all that for my goods and so forth. It's right here. And it's really in the people. You guys make up from Stockton, the Lodi's, and all these places through the Central Valley. I appreciate you putting this together, getting this together, and all the other leaders.
We appreciate you too, Wade. Anything else, Wade?
No.
Stay happy.
Stay high anytime in the Sacramento area. And stay happy, amen. Yeah. We're all happy.
Give it up for James Wade Lewis. But Wade is his name, his nickname. That's what he likes to go by. Okay, hang on 1 second. Let me just restart this so that way it doesn't cut us off.
I know not to get one of those.
That's the way they work. Anyway, all right. So, wow, the next two. How about we bring Shannon and Kelly to the front of the stage at the same time here. So I want to. The reason why I'm bringing Shannon Edwards and Kelly Real-Weston, that's your name on Facebook. That's like your maiden name and your married name, right? Okay, got that right. How many of you were at our holiday party last year in December? Our holiday extravaganza. How many of you remember the award these ladies received? These ladies are the 2014 GNA Superstar Members of the Year. And normally we only have one superstar member, but because these two ladies worked so well together amongst each other and included me as well, we worked together as a team. They were like the glue that kept the whole GNA together, not only the Tracy Central Valley area, but organization-wide. I mean, we had several phone conversations after the Tracy GNA monthly mastermind meetings that end at 8 o'clock. This is what would happen. We run it at a senior living center. They have a nice room there that holds, for those of you that haven't been there, holds 140 people. We go down to the bottom in the parking lot, we sit in the parking lot till midnight, and have a one-on-one, parking lot one-on-one, each and every month. And remember, these ladies live in Tracy. I live in Redwood City in the Bay Area. It's like an hour and 10-minute drive, right? So I leave there at 12. I'm not getting home until 1. And remember, I need to be up at 7 or 8 in the morning to start my work day, right? And that's when entrepreneurs should start working. They shouldn't sleep until noon, right? Like some people do, right? So, you know, it was definitely worth it because I got to know, like, and trust them at a far greater level. So with that being said, I don't know who to choose to go first. You're yielding to Shannon because everyone's equal here. Please welcome your new chairperson of the Tracy GNA Monthly Mastermind Chapter, Shannon Edwards! See that camera right there? It's all yours. You like the camera, don't you? Too bad.
Get used to it.
Thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for all of you that you come and Kelly and I worked out such that night. I'm going to move over from my house, over to the food stand in your home, and move to them all the time, send your coin, and help them come out. We need to fix that. And we need to come together as a family and help each other out. That is what GNA is called. So that's my goal for my chapter, and I'm hoping that we can do that at school for GNA and networking income and support income. If we can't do that, there's no reason why we can't have a school and why we should have one anymore. So that's my suggestion.
Hang on a second. Does this lady have passion? Is she determined? Just stand there with another big round of applause. All right, should we get to Kelly? Kelly, come on up here. So Kelly has like the most titles any GNA leader ever has been given. So we're going to go through them really quickly. Initially, she came on board. She joined our organization about a year ago or so. She came on board as a co-chairperson of Tracy GNA. Then, crazy story happened. We moved the GNA Women's Mastery from Elk Grove to Lodi. And I said, you know what? You're a holistic, life coach, right? How would you like to run GNA Women's Mastery? Great exposure. You can help empower the ladies. Blah blah blah. The rest is history, right? And she said, okay, I'll do it, right? And then recently, we just gave her another role because we wanted to bring her on the executive team because she's done so much for the organization and pretty much she's been doing executive level work as a regular member. So you have to take care of your people in that way, So Kelly is also now our Director of Public Relations. So please welcome Kelly Real-Weston.
Thank you, everybody. Without your support and I love what Wayne said about being part of the heart because that's exactly where I'm from. Getting to a place of vulnerability with people and just being really real and honest.
Like your name?
Yeah, like my name. And helping people move forward in a positive direction. We're always looking towards different goals and different ways to venture in life. But if we could go towards a positive outlook towards anything, I think that's my common goal and that's what I'm about. That's what drives me the most passion. And GNA really aligns me with that just because the GNA helps everybody out. We're a pay it forward pay it forward events or a pay it forward organization, and if there's anything that I can do to help you guys in any personal way to be able to move it forward in your business or in your personal life, I'd be happy to sit with you, have a one-on-one, or talk with you on how we can get you to that next level. So thank you, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Kelly Real-Weston, Director of Public Relations, co-chairperson of Tracy GNA, and host of the GNA Women's Mastery, which we should mention that we're not going to be running a Women's Mastery event this month. We're still trying to figure out where we're going to move the venue. It's been in Stockton at this location, but we're probably going to move it to Lodi. Come see us afterwards and we'll let you know what's going on. For the people watching this video, you'll see that information on Facebook. It'll be blasted everywhere as usual. Okay, so two more people. Last but not least, definitely not least, because I know Grant can beat me up. But he's a nice guy. Let's bring up Samantha Gibson and Grant Gibson. Please come to the stage here. Aren't they an amazing power couple? How many of you love seeing this power couple thing that's been happening, last 4 or 5 years, right? There's strength in numbers, right? And power couples have strength working together, right? So let me just share the story about Samantha really briefly, and then we'll have her and Grant both speak. So we met Samantha, it was about, 6 months ago. I believe you found us on Facebook, and you ended up coming to the Elk Grove GNA event because that's where you're at. And I remember that month, we just had a leadership change. The leaders stepped down, and I was running that chapter, and we were really struggling with attendance. And when you're overseeing like 8 groups as a founder and you're running one of them, it's really hard to focus on just one chapter. I have a network out there, but I'm not always in Sacramento to go out there and grab people by the hand and say, you gotta come to this event out there. Yeah, right? So when Samantha came to that event, the first month she came, it was fairly okay. The second month was when we saw the attendance going down. I came up on the stage and I said, you know, if we're going to continue to run this chapter, we really need somebody to step up and run this chapter. If anybody's interested in being the chairperson of Elk Grove GNA, please come and see me afterwards. And she came up running like a bull. She's like, I want to do this, right? This would be good for personal development, etc. I was like, it was funny when I mentioned that. Right when I mentioned, I looked at you and I could just look. I could see it in your eyes that yeah, I'm interested. You can tell when someone's interested, right? You look me in the eye, right? And then the rest is history. She took over the chapter, the final over the next month, and the rest is history. So please welcome, first of all, Samantha Gibson, chairperson of Elk Grove.
Well, thank you very much. The GNA has been so helpful for me. I mean, to be able to actually stand up here in front of everybody and actually feel comfortable and not feeling like I'm always stumbling over my words is actually a very big accomplishment for me. And that's something that the GNA has given to me. And to continue to practice to be able to do this. And so I've really enjoyed that. So so I just encourage you to come out to the GNA to just, you know, do masterminding and just personal development, because it really is, and that's kind of somewhere in my heart too. So please come to the Elk Grove GNA so that we can work on those things and we can together grow into this organization. It's a good organization.
Wow. Thank you very much, Samantha. Because we need to bring in your other half here, right? And I'm not going to say your better half, as some people say, because it's all equal, right? Some people like to say that.
Yes.
But I remember, this is before I got to know Grant. It was, you know, we were a couple months into it, and you're like, you need to meet my husband, Grant. It's like, you two would get along just great. He's cool. Like, how about you bring him to the GNA, Elk Grove GNA next month, right? You know? And you have a wonderful child who's somewhere. There she is right there, right? And, you know, you need to find a baby. You can actually bring her to GNA events if you like. You know that?
She runs their chapter.
We need to groom our future entrepreneurs. Oh, wow. Oh, that's yours.
Yeah.
That's yours. That's yours. Just don't drop it if you want to crack the screen. Trust me, I've done that before. But I got to know Grant. I just love this personality. He has the biggest heart in the world. And last month we said, you know what, you two are married. He goes, I'd like to come in as a co-chair. I'm like, no, you're going to come in as the other chairperson because you two are married, right? So you're not better than her. She's not better than you. You two are one. And you are both going to be running this chapter as chairperson. So please welcome Grant Gibson to the stage.
Well, thank you everybody for coming. I fully believe in the pay it forward ideas. The vision that the GNA has always had, and just lucky to be a part of this. Actually, the reason why I came to the meetings was because I thought they were having an affair. You know,
So much.
Just joking.
But once I met Elias, I figured out what was really happening. They were just eating dinner and talking.
You know what's funny that you mentioned that, Grant? Because even in the Bay Area, you know, sometimes it's really funny. I mean, I like the men and women equally, you know, we're all friends, right? But a lot of the ladies will stay afterwards. It's business related, and we chat till like 11 o'clock at night, and then their husbands are texting them, where are you? And like, you better go home, you know? So, no, it's all good though. But what else you got for us, Grant?
Not much.
Not much? You having a good time?
Of course.
Welcome to Stockton!
Lovely city.
Grant Gibson, another big round of applause for Grant Gibson! Thank you very much, GNA leaders. You may now sit down. We'll wrap this up. We'll get back into it. We'll do about 2 minutes. Another big round of applause for the GNA leadership team. Okay, a few other leaders to mention that weren't here tonight. This is a long way for them. Our Sunnyvale GNA Monthly Mastermind Chapter in the Bay Area is run by Elizabeth Priest Morrison. And we have a couple of co-chairpersons there. We have Eric Hopp, and we have Jeffrey Levine, who's joining us this month. Most of you folks don't know who those people are. Some of you do. We will connect you with them through our Facebook group pages. And if you just connect with me and you want to be connected with people in that area, just let me know, and I will make that happen for you. And then we also have Matt Fougier, who's actually a rolling ambassador from the Sacramento area. He's been really busy with his mortgage business lately, right, Wade?
Oh, yeah.
He's been slammed, so he hasn't been to events lately, but he'll definitely be back. He's another great person that we can definitely connect you with. Samantha, I know you have a couple other co-chairpersons that are brand new. I know we have Kayla Adams and
Monica Larson.
Monica Larson.
Yes.
So those are the other two chairpersons in that area. If you want to be connected with them, please let us know. We'll make that connection happen. We want you to feel warm and invited when you come to our events. We want you to know the people, because when you feel more comfortable, you're going to show up more often, right? So anyway, does anybody have any questions that they have? If not, I'm going to close this down. Okay, no questions. That's good.
Elias, I have a question.
Yes.
So you have 4 years behind you. Anything you want to share about the future? Any thoughts, ideas about how you want to take things, what you've learned? I don't know.
Are you reading from the script, God?
No, I'm not.
I'm just teasing you. You know, the GNA vision, we've humbly speaking, we've come a long way. We've had our ups and downs. Folks, you have no idea what happens behind the scenes to make this possible. We've had to shut down chapters, relaunch them, and it's a lot of work to do that. Earlier this year, beginning of this year, we changed something that we've never done before. We finally started charging admission for our events. Most of you have heard this, but for the new people, we want to make you aware of what's going on. For 4 years, we ran free events. And it worked really well, but we realized, you know, we're not going to be able to sustain the organization and generate revenue to do what we really want to do, which is start the GNA nonprofit. The GNA nonprofit, which we're hoping to get started by this summer, with some of the funds that we're going to be, you know, generating from the events, is going to be about helping entrepreneurs and helping communities. Really briefly, what we're planning on doing is helping those entrepreneurs that don't qualify for, you know, grants or low interest rate loans through the regular channels. A lot of people lost their jobs during the rough economy, and because they couldn't pay their bills, what happens when you don't pay your bills? You get bad credit. It just happens, right? Then you can't qualify for everything. But even if you go out there to become an entrepreneur, you still need money to make money, right? How many of you have seen people out there that are very nice people, but they're coming out there and trying to shotgun sell you everything to try to make ends meet by the end of the month, right? And we feel bad for them, but we may not have a need for their product. So, you know, we want to help those people by basically giving them the funds to get their business going and buying them enough time to be a real business owner. We're not saying they're not a real business owner, but that way when they have some money to work with, they're going to be able to do things the right way by getting to know, like, and trust people. What we're also going to do is we want to donate money to other nonprofits within our communities where we run our local chapters at, and we want our local chapter members to vote where they want that money to go to. Because no one knows the local communities better than the people that actually live there, right, Grant Gibson?
Exactly.
And it gets you more involved, makes you feel more special, gives you more of a reason to keep coming back. We care more about you than just your money. We do want to help you grow your business. That's the main purpose. But if your community is not doing well, then everyone loses, right? And people just don't get that. So that's pretty much what the cause is. Right, Jim Sean? Is that a good enough cause in your eyes?
Absolutely.
Because you're the cause master.
Absolutely.
Yes, God has a good question. Fire away, God.
I have to say something, and so the leaders know this, but not everybody here knows this.
Okay.
The other thing that people don't know is that, and I just have to say this, Elias has been spending out of his own pocket hundreds of dollars every single month to travel, food, lodging, all that. Now I know he won't say that, right? That's why I'm saying it. So that's part of why we just want to help him reimburse at least some of his expenses so it's not going out the door. And then I know he's going to use it for good. We're going to use it for good. But that's part of why we decided so that it's not, you know, not all these outrageous expenses. You would do it anyway. You probably wouldn't even say that if I didn't put you on the spot.
No,
but
you're right.
That just goes to show what his heart is. Like, he'll just spend time, energy, money, whatever it takes for all of us. So at the very least, we want to help reimburse him some of his expenses, so it's not, you know, coming out of it.
It's a very good point, God. Let me just tackle that really quick, if that's okay with you. So to me, I'm very transparent. If anybody asks me anything, I'm going to answer them. There are some things that I just won't say because to me, I'm happy to just do it. So if I were to come out here and say, hey, I spent $800 on each and every one of you each month, what are you going to do for me, right? That doesn't work, right? That's not where my heart's coming from. But if somebody asks, hey, what does it take to make this happen? You know, what does this cost out of pocket? I'm curious to know because, you know, I appreciate what you do. I'm going to share that information, and that's no problem. So Yes, some of that money will go to offset some of the costs, but the majority of the money is going to go into getting the nonprofit going. And let me do one thing here real quick. Let me bring up Outback Andy Foster to the stage. Come on up here, Outback. Because, and Jim Chong, come on up here too. Jim Chong, come up here real quick. This is what the GNA is doing. We're going to start working closer with these people. Jim Chong and Outback Andy, they're both known as GNA Collaborative Partners. And they have some products and services and things that they do that we're going to work together on that are going to generate revenue, not only for the GNA, but also for their organizations as well, too. So why don't we give each of you a minute or so to just share, you know, how you plan to work with us. I know we've talked about this privately.
Yeah, okay, let me
Go ahead.
real quick.
You gonna grab your notes?
No.
You wouldn't expect this, were
I
you?
didn't get a visual, no, you give me on the spot, so.
You gotta be ready for this stuff, right?
I would be, yeah. I'm prepared. Okay, so basically, all I asked was talking about is the ways that we can help the GNA raise money. And in the next 4 months or so, I'll be launching a company which is called Shop and Save USA. I don't know how many of you heard the radio show last week. Basically, if you took the entertainment book and threw the book away, this was like an electronic version. So you can go on, I notice everybody in here has a smartphone. I don't think anyone has a phone. So, phones are smart than most machines.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is you go on this website and you'll be able to get like the entertainment book deals, but it'll all be electronic. The problem with the entertainment book is if you live in Stockton, it's only good for here. If you go to Sacramento, you need another one, the Bay Area. This came about when my wife buying these books as so I've come up with a program where we have a website and we're launching this in about 3 months. So what we're going to do is we're going to, on the back of this, unfortunately I haven't got one out, but on the back is a QR code and there's an area for advertising. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the GNA on the back of this. Okay? So I'm going to partner with Elias and I'm going to have all this made and the GNA will have their own card. Normally this will go to non-profits to sell. Elias doesn't know this yet, but every GNA member is going to receive a 2-pack of these. Oh, nice. So these are going to be a $20 value. So anybody that attends GNA meetings that are regular GNA people will turn up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go out and ask you, and we'll go and give you these, and ask you to go out and sell these and bring the money back to the GNA. And the majority of those funds are going to go to the GNA for fundraising. So they're going to be $20, and what we're going to do is we're going to split it, so at least $10 is going to come back to the GNA. Imagine how many GNA members we have that regularly attend, and how we can kickstart, and we're trying to do this for Elias, because he's been doing this for a long, long time. We want to kickstart the GNA, and help the GNA, and that's one of the ways that Elias and I wasn't quite ready to announce it yet, but
Gotta be always ready.
but we've been trying to keep it under wraps a little bit, but over the next month or so, we'll be working out the final details of it. So we're going to, on the back, it will be the GNA logo. And if we find a sponsor maybe that kicks in, or whatever we're going to do, or we're just going to put the GNA logo across the back of it. And then this card will be working like this worldwide eventually. Because we hope to launch this in 2017 in Australia and England. So it's eventually going to be a worldwide thing. So it's going to be, also we have a hang pack that has like a little hang thing on it. So we're going to be putting them in stores, they'll be in corner stores, they'll be done through non-profits all over the place. And let's say we just want to give back to the GNA. So that's one of the ways I'm going to do with my company is give back to the GNA.
Thank you. One last thing before we turn over to Jim and we really need to wrap this up is that what we're going to do with our collaborative partners when we have deals like these is we're going to throw in a GNA free membership to every chapter in Northern California. So we want to make it worth it for you folks, you know. It's not all about the money. You know, we're not going to charge you a GNA annual pass, which those annual passes are coming soon, if, you know, you work with us in another way. So we're trying to make it feasible between our collaborative partners and what we're trying to do as well. So, but a big round of applause for Outback Andy Foster.
Charging for the GNA. Go join a VNI group or a Chamber of Commerce group and see what that costs you a year and what the benefits you get. You come to GNA and it's going to be a very small fee if you book online like Elias has done. So you're going to get the value. So it's just we're going to try and help as much as we can. That's why I said to Elias, we want to try and help, kickstart, especially if you're becoming a non-profit, and then help other people, like Elias was saying, small businesses that need to get off the ground. Imagine how much if everybody was a member of the GNA, went out and sold 6 of these packs, and that money all came back to the GNA, or a quick kickstart it could be for the GNA.
Absolutely. Thank you, Outback. Give Outback and a big round of applause. Last but not least, keep time about 2 or 3 minutes here. The tape's going to run out. Jim Chung, founder of Solutions for Life, or SRL for short.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
well, I want to thank Elias always. Let's give him a big round of applause. One thing Solutions for Life is all about is really supporting cause-based professionals and organizations. As many of you know, I'm on the executive team of several foundations that are established. And what we're doing is creating a resource in the area of healthcare, welfare, and self-care to take care of those people that are taking care of others, right? Being cause-based. How many of you are cause-based? All right? Well, basically, guess who we're the worst to take care of? Ourselves. We want to create a resource to make sure you have the infrastructure to make sure you're taken care of. And what I want to do on behalf of the Stockton community here, is I'll be actually emceeing the parade on behalf of the city for the Chinese New Year on March 1st. Wanted to formally invite you all to come out here, but also I'm just very excited because I know great things are planned for 2015, and what I really want to do is help you really be able to share your message. And so there's a lot of great things that you do to serve people, but whatever I can do to help you, please let me know personally. And so I'm Jim Teachaw. Thank you.
Give Jim a round of applause. Jim Teachaw. Thank you very much, everybody. We're going to go back to informal networking now. Sorry that went a little bit extra, but did you have anything you wanted to say real quick, Grady?
The only thing I was going to say on the price, I think Elias is being too humble on that. I paid $360 to join the group, and another $29 a month after that forever. And I don't get really much out of it. And the culture of the group is so much about business that there's no friendships and real relationships being made. So for a long haul, it's not worth the money. When you're talking about $5, $10, $15 for a meeting, it's really nothing. It really is. We should just take it, write it off, and use it as an excuse to get out of the house. It'll force you to be disciplined and go to your meetings. I'm going to wave my flag on one thing. I went to 360 meetings in a row of one group, and it was all social media. It'd be pretty boring. Bill and Wade, 7 in the morning we had to show up. But I never missed a meeting, and as a result, I could make a living off social media if I had to. You learn so much. There's things you're going to get from networking that you're probably not thinking about it if you've only been in it a year, 2 years, even 3 years. When you've gone to 1,000 meetings, all of a sudden now, it's like compound interest. It's like, better analogy, a snowball rolling downhill. It gets easier and better. That's all I have to say.
Great, thank you, Randy. Okay, back to informal networking, everybody. Thank you very much.